Man, I do that right. I see you, my Niiji. I see you. So I just want to talk about. I just want to chill. Actually, I'm just seeing this thing going viral about how the employee at McDonald's stabbed her manager, who's a mother of six, and unalived her. And that is super, super unfortunate. Like, super, super unfortunate. Super, super unfortunate. There go my neighbor. Drop your questions in the chats. Oh, actually, let me do something real quick. Drop your questions in the chat. Drop your questions in the chat. So I just did a whole live teaching. So now I'm live just chilling. I'm coming, y'all. Just chilling for a second. Oh, they didn't like that. They don't really like when I talk about that shit on Facebook. They don't really like it. They don't really like it. They don't really like that shit. They don't really like it. They don't really like it. They don't really like it, guys. Can y'all hear me? I don't know if y'all can hear me. I might be too far away. Too far away. I'm still on my mission to get monetized on Twitch. I fell off of my lives for the past week. I did not go live for a whole week. because I was just in my feelings. Still kind of grieving and just dealing with work, you know. Two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I've been in a place where, let me see, this is too loud. Let's turn this down a little bit. There we go. Let's turn the music off for a second. I've been in a, ooh, I need a nap. Do I need a nap? No. I've been in a place where, I've been in a place where, I realized that I'm kind of not where I want to be, but I know that I'm going where I need to be. Not where I want to be, but going where I need to be. And something stuck me today. They said, if you quit, you will never basically get where you're trying to go. Like, it won't happen at all if you quit on yourself. Like, it won't happen at all, guys. God darn it. I'm trying to do something. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Jeez. 9. Let's do one more. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 7, 10. I'm trying to make up for the times that I missed, guys. I'm trying to make up for the time that I was off for the past week. Kind of messed my algorithm up, but you know, if at first you don't succeed, what you gotta do? Dust yourself off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again. Try again. Try again. And that's what I'm doing. Dusting myself off, trying this shit again, man. Dust yourself off and try again. Honestly, I should be in Tally right now. There's a lot going on back home that I'm missing, but what's new? Dr. Sean always misses every damn thing. Like, you know, I blame that on a life of too much responsibility. No, I blame that on a life of having too much responsibility, big goals, and just being a new entrepreneur. That's what I blame it on. You know. So this weekend I will be chilling out, and I have some training to do. And yeah, chilling out here on the live, talking to you guys about, what's going on. Lately, this whole week, I've been diving into my genealogy, honestly. So I've been out of it. Once you start doing that genealogy and filling in the puzzles and finding people, it's kind of hard to break away from it. For me, at least it is. I found my little pocket, and I found a lot of my family members in that pocket, and it's like a wrap, and I'm on it, for hours. It's kind of like reading to me, because you have to read a lot of records, and I really should have named this Genealogy 101, but, I'm always talking about genealogy. I feel like it's so important for everybody to do it, important for the tribe. Let me see something, cause let me see. Oh, what is there? In other news, I'm almost to my goal on YouTube, 1K. I feel like my past week of just taking off really kind of hindered my growth on this bitch, but I'm gonna get there eventually. Eventually. And honestly, guys, it's my goal to do IRL streams where I'm out of this desk setting. But IRL streams take a little while to get connected, and if I were to do those streams, it would be strictly on Twitch, not on all these other platforms, not on Facebook, not on YouTube or Kick. It would just be strictly to the Twitch. So make sure you follow me on Twitch, man. This is just a chill stream, live, testing my no person in the room talkability, and yeah. Cause I got Twitch goals, man. Twitch goals, man. Twitch goals, man. Honestly, guys, I feel like one day I'm gonna make it on Twitch. I'm gonna make it. Even on YouTube, even on Twitch. If I could talk to myself 10 years from now, it's gonna be like, hey, self, I am so proud of you for being a little delusional and not giving up on your dreams and not giving up on your goals and continuing to pursue your purpose, even when things didn't look like how you thought they should look. Even when on days you had to make a sacrifice and miss out on certain things because, that's just how life goes. So I'm proud of you, future self. You stuck with it. You built the audience that you always dreamed about. the community, I would say, and made so many connections and helped so many people. And not only that, you grew from these people because you realize that being the smartest person in the room is the wrong room. So to my future self, I want to say congratulations. You really did that shit. It took a while, but you didn't go. You didn't give up. You stayed in the paint. Whether it was 0 cheers, 10 cheers, 100 cheers, a million cheers, you stayed in the paint. Whether you was battling the algorithms or just from talking about real shit that most people aren't talking about, you still in the paint. Because you guys, believe it or not, for me, I don't look like what I've been through. And honestly, I feel like I'm at a season in life where I just gotta go for it. I'm at a season in life where it's a test where it seems like all signs say quit. It ain't working. But really, when you in those places where things are like quit, it ain't working, this is the moment you keep going. Because that's all just a trick of your mind. It's a fear, you know. When your fight or flight kicks in and it seems like things aren't working, keep going. You have to get over the anxiety, get over the shyness, get over the hesitation, the insecurity about things not being right, and just do the shit. Okay? So, future self, I am just ecstatic for the generational curses that you broke when you hop on the mic and talk that shit, knowing that nobody hear it, but maybe one day one person will hear it and it will just change the way they think about it. If you just planted one seed, you have done enough. To my future self, that's what I would tell myself. And even to you out there, if you doubt yourself, you know, you looking for that community and it's taking you a while to find it. The consistency is a challenge. Like I told y'all, consistency is a challenge for me, right? Death is a trigger for me. It fucks up my consistency. Like losing people, going through things in life, it messes up my consistency. And this past week, I had to listen to my body, to my mind, just chill out for a second. Because the last time I went live, it was kind of like this, pretty much empty. Out of all the people I know in the world, it was pretty much empty. So I ain't gonna lie, I got a little discouraged. But a lot of us on Twitch, in the streaming spaces, it starts like this. So you can't really get discouraged. You just gotta keep going, man. You gotta keep going. I started at 0 followers on Twitch. Now I have 109. So you just gotta keep going. And that's what I'm gonna keep doing. Even if I have to cheer for my damn self, I'm still gonna show up. And you'll learn this about me, chat. That I'm gonna still cheer for myself. Cause if you don't, who else gonna do it? You gotta encourage yourself. Cause if you don't, nobody will. And this is how it starts. All of us have to start from 0. Well, maybe not all people, but most people that I know. So I'm doing something different, doing something out of the norm, getting out of my comfort zone, testing the waters, loving life, being unapologetic, realizing who I am, learning about my culture, heritage, ancestors, learning about my family now, waking people up, helping people get out of the matrix, and I'm happy. Definitely doing some dentistry. You already know what time it is with that. That's the day job. And I'm trying to make this streaming another job, but boy, I tell y'all, streaming is not easy how it looks. It's not. It's not easy. Like nothing is easy. It all requires hard work and persistence and consistency, which I'm still fucking up with the consistency. But we all fall short sometimes. None of us are perfect, and I live in that. Like I'm not perfect at all. Like so many flaws that make me, I guess, imperfectly perfect is what we would call it. Imperfectly perfect. But yeah, streaming is taking me on a journey. I ain't quit yet. I still show up. I still get on the mic and try to give it my all because I know I have a goal and I know what it takes to get there. So if I can encourage someone else, thank you for the like, Rosie. If I can encourage someone to get there, then that's what I'm gonna do. So when you see me showing up on this stream, talking, chat dead, I'm doing this on purpose to overcome that anxiety, to overcome that fear of this exact thing happening. And that's the thing about streaming, this exact thing happens. Like, it's just like, live. You can't turn it off. Well, you can turn it off, but you know what I mean? If you want to get longevity behind streaming, you got to go through these uncomfortable moments. And yeah, I think I'm a pretty lit person, and I'm going to get there. I promise you that. I promise you I'm going to find my tribe. I promise you I'm going to find my tribe. Nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Hey, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm all the way up in the spirit. I believe I can get there. And you might say, well, dang, where you want to be? You got the dentistry going. I have so much left. Like, we have so much life. Like, don't let life make you stop at a certain age or get stuck in the mindset where you stop learning and growing and reading and having fun and getting the sunlight and just traveling and living your best life. Now, granted, me being an entrepreneur has put a dent in the life that I like to be gone and out, you know, but it's a part of the process. Entrepreneurship be like that sometimes. And honestly, like I say, like, entrepreneur is one of the hardest things I ever done. It takes a lot from me. It takes a lot from me. One of my colleagues wrote or shared earlier this week about how dentistry is one of those professions where it really takes a toll on your mental health. And I can vouch for that. It has taken a toll on my mental health plenty times. Plenty times. I've cried. I've been mad. I've been sad. I've been wanting to quit. I've been through there when it comes to this profession just because it requires a lot from you. You know, and coming from hood to hooded, I feel like the journey was just one of the most crazy experiences. To get this dream, it required so much. And it can be draining. And she wrote that because of the demand, she knew of 3 colleagues who had ended their lives because they couldn't take it anymore. The mental health is real on all levels. You know, so that's why I will get on here and vent and talk about the mental health issues and talk about the history and get it out and, you know, just chat with you guys because I'm also trying to vent myself. Not vent like that, but in the streaming world, just like keep it honest and open, not vent, but kind of vent, but not really vent. And I know that it's a journey, and I don't ever want to get stuck where I just feel like I just want to just completely give up. Now, I'm gonna cry sometimes and get down sometimes. Sometimes it be like that. Some days it's like, whoa, I did not know that I was biting off of this much. I didn't know that I would be responsible for so much. So fucking much. All the time. I didn't know. I wasn't prepared for what comes with entrepreneurship. Because you think entrepreneurship, you think, okay, if I'm in charge, I can make more. But what happens when you're in charge, you're responsible for more too. Your responsibility increased to the amount that you kind of want to make eventually. But before you make what you want to make, that's down here and the responsibility is here. And if you keep up with the responsibilities, then this will rise later when it comes to dentalpreneurship. But many days it's overwhelming. Many days it's like, what am I doing sometimes? Like when it comes to the business, but 3 years in, still hanging in here. I could say business is headed in the right direction. One of the most important things that I had to learn and still have to learn is taxes. Will continue to learn is the taxes, like the financial paperwork in marketing. Like without marketing for a practice like mine, it's tough if you don't market. So marketing is key pretty much to all businesses. So that's the major culprits, you know. And a lot of times for me as a dentist, even with my loved ones around, I can see how people can slip into the mindset where they just don't see the light. It's because they're keeping it all in. They don't want to talk to people about it. They feel like they're going to be judged, or they just feel like it's just too much to bear. Okay, anytime you feel like your life is too much to bear, you got to step back from life and step back into yourself. I'm going to say that again. Step back from life and step back into yourself. Step back into your spirit. Get your balance back. Like just go outside, let the wind hit your face, and fuck everything else. It's nothing like having a good day just at the water, looking at the water, whether you're fishing or just putting your feet in the water or just chilling, having a glass of wine. It's nothing like just taking that time to yourself. Okay, because we already read despotism in America, how the work system started off of something that was really cruel and evil, and now it's turned into something that's still cruel and evil, but you get a little check. I mean, you get a little check for it, or you get some cash with some colonizers on it. Who started the whole shit? Yeah, but we ain't going into that right now, but I'm just saying. So anytime you feeling like you're not where you're supposed to be, it's okay. That's just the energy that you need to keep going. To keep going. And that's me right now. I'm in a place where I just gotta keep going. It's a weird place, but who's better for this task than me? You see this? I came from nothing. So of course, in any journey that I start, whether that's streaming, whether that's social media content, whether that's YouTube, whether that's dentistry, whatever the journey is for me, it's always going to be from hood to hood. It's starting from nothing, trying to turn it into something. So you already know the journey going to be tough. You already know that you're going to be talking to little to nobody like me. But it's okay. You still going to grow from this. You still got to shine and be confident and work through those moments of insecurity. Work through those moments where you don't really know what you're going to say, and just try and challenge yourself. Me right now, I'm challenging myself to talk to y'all because, you know, that's just how streaming works. I can't just sit here. Honestly, I could just sit here like this. I could sit here like, nah, but I gotta talk. I gotta talk. So in order to talk and keep streaming, because as a streamer, I need to get the time under my belt. I gotta stream. So you gotta talk. Talk when no one's listening. Okay. But you do it for your replay viewers. That's the one thing that we remember about streaming. If I could teach you anything, is to do it for the replay viewers. Don't think about the live audience. Think about the replay, because those are the people who are going to replay it. The live is cool if people can catch it, but I'm realizing what I really think going on with my live is that doing it from Streamlabs and not directly in the app, it kind of shadow bans me. And that's okay. I don't really care. It's okay. I get shadow banned all the time. I talk about stuff that colonized apps don't like. So I'm going to be a shadow banned person. And I get it. Am I going to quit? Nah. I really believe that I can blow up on YouTube and Twitch, man. I think I can blow up on here, man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think I can blow up. But in order for me to blow up, I gotta show up. If you wanna blow up, you gotta show up. If you wanna stream, get on YouTube, you gotta show up. Okay? You gotta show up. And showing up is what's gonna get us there. Now, if I could just show up on those days when I gotta do dentistry too, that'd be cool. But when I have to do dentistry and be a dentalpreneur, and I can't even begin to tell y'all all the tasks that I have, it just be like draining. It be draining. But I still managed to do it. And I started this journey out thinking that I was doing something for my family, like to make my family proud. And I think certain people are proud, but it's not like the real reason why I did it. I had to turn my purpose into something else to make my family proud, but to make myself proud, especially my mom, Denise here. So to make her proud, but I had to turn it into like a personal thing, like an internal flame. This is for me. Because at any point in my life, I could have laid down and just stayed stuck like a tree. I could have stayed in the hood mindset. I could have stayed right here. I could have just like never wanted nothing better. I could have never pursued this journey. I could have just said, this is gonna be a tough road. I think I'm gonna go the easy route. I say no, let me do the tough thing. And if it's one thing about me is I'm always gonna do the tough shit. I'm always gonna do the tough stuff. Always. New to your channel, just popping in for a bit. Glad I caught a live. Hey Marmar, how are you today? Thank you for following the channel. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been live all the time except this past week. I took a little break. I'm sure your family is very proud of you. I think for the most part, some of them are. I can't say all of them, but the ones that are, I appreciate them. When it comes to being proud, I don't know, I just feel weird about the proudness. I can count on like maybe two hands, and that's okay. I'm well. Greetings from Delaware. I've never been to Delaware. How is it living in Delaware? Never been to Delaware. That was once my goal, to go to all 50 states, and I think I'm gonna do it eventually. But yeah, so I just do this and I continue to do it because I like to do hard things that aren't too easy, and I feel like I'm the best person to do it. Life is never gonna be easy. Yet my family too. What? That is cool. Delaware. What is it to do in Delaware? Like, if I was to come to Delaware, where would you recommend to go? Like, what's the hot spots in Delaware? It's alright. I'm from Maryland, but been in Delaware for a minute. Ah. That's how I feel about where I am in New York. It's like, it's alright. Because I'm not in New York City. I'm outside of New York City in the area that I'm in. I actually kind of don't like it at all. If it was up to me, I would probably move closer to the south, back to my hometown, Tallahassee. But everybody's like, oh, don't come back to Tallahassee. And I'm like, dang, guys, I know y'all saying that, don't come back to Tallahassee, Florida, or back here, but it's like, I always miss everything. I miss, like, I feel like I'm a little bit homesick. And I'm up here and I feel like I'm homesick like a bitch. Honestly, if I can just be honest. To be honest, I'm not going out much type of person. We have a very rich agricultural state. Ah. Like for me, fun for me varies. I'm adventurous, I'm spontaneous, I like having fun, I like spa time, I like all types of things. Like probably the only thing I wouldn't do is hiking because I have a tick phobia and camping. But you have to fight with the folks a bit because they redline the hell out of you. Wow. I bet they do. That's everywhere. Definitely redline. I bet they do. Yeah, but for me, when it comes to adventure, I'm multifaceted. When it comes to adventure, I go roller coaster. I go pick berries, like apple picking. I'll go whale watching. I get on a plane, train, boat. Like, you know, and that's coming from that hood mindset. When I was a little girl, like living in the hood, I always had big dreams, way bigger than my environment, way bigger than what I saw, way bigger than going to see my daddy in prison, way bigger than losing my mom at 8. My dreams just overtook my whole life. And ever since I was that little girl, I just been adventurous. That's why now you'll see me trying to stream or do this or do that because I feel like life is short, and if I'm gonna be here, I need to make it count because I already know the odds stacked against me. I already know I wasn't supposed to make it out. I already know I wasn't supposed to be here. I can say I wasn't supposed to, but I'm here, so I'm supposed to be here. But you get what I'm trying to say. I literally came from nothing, trying to turn it into something. Every day I still fight to try to turn it into something. I'm not where I want to be. Yes, I have a doctoral degree. Yes, I have a dental practice, but I'm so far from where I want to be. So much left in me to do. I do horseback riding. Oh, I've never been horseback riding. That sounds really fun. To have fun, but folks go to either Baltimore or Philly since it's so close. Ah, but see, I like if you in a nature state like New York, oddly enough, has a lot of nature, which is probably why I don't like this area that I'm in because it's mostly like Hudson River, just nature. But I like waterfalls and lakes and just sitting out at the beach and watching the mountains, like picnics, stuff like that. I want to get into hiking, but I need to be with folks that look like me to get started. They have a group on Facebook. It's called, even though I don't identify as black anymore, I'm Niiji. But they do have a group on Facebook called, maybe it is Niiji Hikers. But you can find whatever you identify as black or Niiji, you can find it on Facebook. And they have hiking groups. But me, the hiking, I don't know. I just don't want to get bit by no ticks, man. Oh, I had a bad experience with a tick. And I just don't like them. It just creeped me out. Oh. Wow, sorry about your parent. Right, me too, minus the beach. Yeah, I love the beach though. I love the beach. I can go to the beach every day if I could. Which is probably why I want to move back down south to Florida so I can go to the beach. I guess I can go to the beach here too, but it's always like the weather. It's not hot enough. People in Florida might be like, girl, you can take this heat. We don't want it. But yeah, guys. So, just being that young person, always trying to fight for my dreams and always believing that it can come true and just getting to this spot where I am now, I know that I have so much left in me for every aspect. And I feel like we all do. We have so much life left in us. Right, I'm a part of some Facebook group, but I didn't know there was a Niiji group. We'll have to check it out. Yes, I think it's Niiji Hikers or it's something like that. I can't remember. But you know, Facebook got every type of group. And that's like me. I feel like I don't have my Niiji community yet. I'm still trying to find y'all out here in the world. So I feel like I just be out here just knowing who I am, but still trying to find my community. Because a lot of my family isn't woke. They don't know about Niiji. They don't know about none of that. And I've been screaming it, but you know how that is. When you're not open to the knowledge and you're not actually seeking it, it can be very hard to break those generational curses. And I've been there, so I understand from both sides. But that's what I would love to just connect with more Niiji. And so I can feel like I'm a part of the community. But the time will come for that, for me to connect with more Niiji. It will definitely come. In the meantime, I just continue to show up and look crazy on this camera. So yeah, I thought I wanted to move. Hold on, I can't see the comments. Why didn't it show up? It says, yeah, I thought I wanted to move to North Carolina, but lately the weather has been crazy down south with getting snow, and would go to Florida every year, but it's too hot for me. Yeah, Florida is super hot. It is very, very hot. And honestly, I've been in the north for over 10 years now. Let me see. I started dental school in 2012. Yeah. So I've been from Nashville in 2012, which is a little bit more central, but that gets all 4 seasons. And I've been away from Florida for over 10 years. Almost 15 years. And the last time I was home for the summer, because I love going home, the last time I was there, it was so hot outside. I felt like I was literally in an oven. I was like, damn, I'm not used to this heat no more. So if I ever move back, it's going to take me a while to get accustomed to the heat again. But I'm not opposed to it. But, ooh, yeah, it can get hot down there. But the weather, the hurricanes, it's snowing down there now. The weather is different. But up here where I'm at now, it's just too cold all the time. And it snows too much. And it's always cloudy. So I'd rather take the sun and the heat versus cloudy and cold. Or I need to find like a middle ground. Right, my family isn't trying to hear about our Indian background, even though our grandparents told us, shaking my head. My grandparents didn't tell me. You know what I heard though? I used to always hear that my great grandma was Indian in the family, but we never really thought like the bloodline ties to you, idiot. So for me, hearing this, it took me on a journey to my genealogy, because I kept hearing this last year. Indian, everybody's talking about it. It's the hottest thing. I'm like, well, if we're American Indian, it should be in my records. And I've been doing the genealogy. I'm back 6-7 generations, and I keep seeing indigenous, natural born citizens, inhabitants. I'm not seeing Africa. I'm not seeing any of that. So I definitely know that my tribe is indigenous to America, the Southeast, West Indies, the Mississippian mound builders, all of that. And everything that I read ties back into that. I just did a live before this one talking about despotism in America and how they use slavery to erase the Indian and call them slaves versus prisoners of war. So it was a bunch of trickery going on. Our family has been bound and generationally cursed with the black codes and the Jim Crow laws and all these different things to get us out of our true identity. And it goes so deep. It just goes so deep. And I'm a scholar. I have several degrees. I'm used to reading a lot of shit. And I just been reading. So that's why nobody can tell me, even if my family's like, oh, no, if you didn't read, if you didn't do the genealogy, if you don't have the knowledge, then you will forever be governed. The president, James Madison, said they already know what they're doing is leading people to be ignorant about what's really going on. He said, knowledge will forever govern ignorance. And ever since I seen that quote from the president, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be a part of the ignorant people. And I used to be afraid. And even now, there is a little bit of hesitation with speaking boldly out about being Niiji and American Indian, because people try to force their ideals and the colonized mindset on you, even after they hear, "Hey, I'm woke, I'm Niiji, I'm identify." They still just try to like keep the brainwashing going, and I just can't fall for it. My grandmother was afraid to speak about it, so they didn't tell us much. Yeah, they're afraid to speak about it because the laws back in the day, the black codes, the Jim Crow, all of these laws that they made it illegal to talk about these things. It made it illegal for you to identify who you really were. You had to really identify with who the colonizer says you were, the settler says you were, the white man says you were. And it's no different than today. Like, this is how much in a zombie land we are. This is how much we're in the matrix, because people are following this colonized system blindly, without any change, without any lashes, without any of that stuff. Now we just do it blindly, and most people think that this is normal, but it's not. The most upsetting thing that I read last week, and if you haven't looked this up, Marmar, look into the paper, is it the paper bull? The papal bull, PAPALBULL, like papal bull. This is from the Pope overseas. Now I know it's overseas, but the Pope wrote this letter to people like Christopher Columbus, Pemphigo, all these. So all these people, the Pope put out a message saying, "Hey, we are the gods. God works through us from heaven, and I'm in charge. So I have God's word, and God's word told me to tell all you guys to go seize the land across the world." So when they got that letter in 1303 or something like that, the papal bulls and different papal bulls that they put out, it made these people come to our land to seize the land, because this was direct order from the Pope to go and unallow people and to take the land. So when I read that, I knew that nothing was off limits. I'm like, nothing is off limits. Like, this is crazy. This is stemming from before they even got over here. So I understand, because I've been on the other side, how difficult it is for people to even open their ears to this. It's like taboo. And that's the generational curse of it all. That's why this podcast, Hood to Hood, exists, because I know that it's a generational curse. Even though I started dental school in 2012 and I completed that mission, I have several degrees, I graduated, but I was under a whole nother identity right here. I was an African American, and I didn't know that I had been reclassified. And for me, being a scholar, being a doctor, thinking, what, this sound crazy. At first it sound crazy, but I'm not the person who gonna shut down knowledge and just say, you know, that sound crazy, I don't want to hear it. I'm gonna go and do some research and investigate, which led me to do my genealogy last year, because I felt like I hear all these people talking about where I'm from, I need to see it. So once I saw that, and I'm still digging, I realized, whoa, I have over 1 million ancestors here right on Turtle Island, and that's not even an exaggeration. I had so many people living right now that I'm disconnected to, or disconnected from, because I didn't know who I was. And that's how colonization works. It makes you feel like you connected to this slave identity that they gave you, and you don't need to search because we brought you here. And that is just not the truth. A lot of the colonizers, the presidents, came here even after your ancestors. Trump, his ancestors from Scotland and Germany, but here he is creating laws, calling people immigrants when he's the biggest immigrant. The biggest immigrant, calling other people immigrants and making laws on our land. This is the world we live in now. So for people to wake up from that with the tools that they use, which is religion and law, they told you this themselves. It's not something I'm making up. The government tells us in the books that they don't want you to read that we use law and religion to govern the people. We use law and religion, and once they learn how to turn law and religion and make them work together, it was a wrap. They could get people on either side, and they know this. This is the thing. They know this. We just don't know this. We just think that, oh, this is just a normal world. I hit a roadblock at 1860, but accidentally stumbled on some info by accident when I wasn't looking for it. And it's from 1740, but nothing's an accident when our ancestors are guiding us. Period. Nothing is an accident. That's the same way for me. I fell back from my tree for a while because it got too deep. Like now I'm in a pocket where the tree where it just is exploding. Every time I go back to my tree, it just so many leaves growing from the new kids to the people that I never saw before, even back to the 1800s and now the 1700s. And the fact that you got to the 1700s is wild because they block all the online uploads from the 1790s and back. So really, you have to go to Lenexa in Kansas City to find those records because they have them in a cave or underground. I shouldn't say in a cave, but underground. You know, they have them locked out from the indigenous people, and that's crazy. The thing is, my ancestry has allowed me to connect. So my mom died when I was 8, right? And I never met her dad. I never really met any of my granddads. I never knew their name, never met them. And I didn't even see their faces and their names until I started doing my genealogy. Even my grandmas. I only knew my dad's mom and my mom's mom and my great grandma. So I knew 3 grandmas, but I don't know any of the other ones. I didn't know their name because I was in this false identity. The crazy thing is, now that I'm doing my research, I've discovered my mom's dad's brother and his brother's kids, and I connected with my family on Facebook. People I never met before who are my blood, like first, second cousins. All because of colonization. It does that. It makes you feel like, oh, I don't have to connect with my people. That ain't important. Oh, bump the tribe. You know how people got the attitude now, F family. I had that attitude too when thought I was African American. It's like, you have this nonchalant, I don't care about the tribe attitude. But when you become Niiji, when you wake up and realize who the fuck you are, it's like, you can't help but know who your tribe is. Like, I'm addicted to learning my tribe, learning my people, reconnecting, and getting over the memory loss that has been instilled in us from the generational curses of, just the black codes, the Jim Crow laws, every law that they could ever make. It's just been to kill who we are, break our spirit. That's it. Take our soul. The Pope actually said when he wrote the Papal Bull in the 1300s, their soul belongs to us. The Pope said this when he was sending Christopher Columbus and all these people, when they read these Papal Bulls from different popes. They said our soul belongs to them. Our land belongs to them. We belong to them. They were psychotic, right? I heard about that, but haven't came across the info to read up on it. Right, when my grandmother found out they started calling us African American, she was like, huh? Oh, so that's what they're calling us now. She was so mad. What? Right, a lot of stuff are in the homes of the folks, and some of them are telling it and getting rid of stuff without knowing that it's helping us. Wow, she was mad. That is crazy. Yeah, I mean, because as the time go on, what I realized just from doing my research, because I call myself a genealogist right now and the historian of my family, what I noticed that every 10 years they do the census, they wipe something out. They change something to kind of throw people off. It's never the same. So in the beginning, when they were doing the census, like in the 1700s, they were basically researching us. Because who brings people from Africa on a boat that takes months and months? And now these people got land and farms and horses and they farmers, and now all of a sudden you don't know who they are, you don't know what their land is, so you're researching them. Who's the head of household? What's this name? That's all they was doing. They used the research and turn it into a way to commit genocide. They use the research and turn it into a way to unalive us. They use the research to their advantage and against us to make laws about who's not going to work, who's not going to school, who's not going to church. They made it impossible to be us. So when you got the aftermath of that, that's the world we live in today. It's impossible for you to be who you really were back then until we get back into our right identity. And you said you never heard of that, so I'm going to write it down for you so you can look it up. It's not even that long to read. I think it's the Papal Bull. I think I spelled it right. Let me make sure I spelled it right. So Papal Bull is a type of public decree, letters, patent, or charter issued by a pope or the Catholic Church. It is named after the leading seal bulla, traditionally appended to authenticate it. So basically, the Pope sends these things out, and it's kind of like, I don't know. So definitely read on the Papal Bull. There's several of them. The one from 1303, which the Pope says we're gonna take their souls, all kind of crazy stuff. When you read history and you become a historian, the things that I've read so far, ain't no way I can still stay asleep. The first thing that I read, and I feel like every person who feels like they're African American, black, even if you Niiji, everybody needs to read the Christopher Columbus journal, the first one. That journal will have you in tears when you see the mind of a demon. This is sent by the Pope now. This demonic person, he was demonic. That's the only thing I could say. So some of that demonology stemming from Christopher Columbus still exists today. Did you see the updated classifications yet? Shaking my head. They need to correct it because they still clump us together to identify as black. Right? I heard about it, so I'll get it and read it. Yeah, the thing is, we waiting for them to classify us correctly on something that they use to tax us, something that they use to make us go to work and labor. Is never going to happen. We have to be sovereign people, meaning we have the right to classify ourselves. Most people don't know that the UNDRIP, UNDRIP, is something with the United Nations where they put this out where we can self-identify ourselves. But when we're waiting for a colonizer to put us in the category, it's never. I feel like it's never going to happen. I'm gonna tell you why. In my last live, I just read the Black Codes. I'm sure you heard of the Black Codes and Jim Crow, and I've heard of it, but I've never read it. So I decided to go read it. And in the Black Codes, it shows you how they turned the POWs into Negro, into slaves, into when they couldn't do this, they couldn't enslave these people illegally, which is basically another word for homicide. When they couldn't do that anymore, they made it where you had to go to work. It was illegal not to go to work. So when you think about classification purposes, they're never going to reclassify that because they made it illegal to go to work, illegal for you not to go to work in school, so they could tax you. So the fact that you're a black, it means that you can be taxed. It means that you have bills. It means that you're forever going to be in this rat race. You're never going to get out of the rat race. And honestly, I don't know if in my lifetime I'll ever see sovereignty in my lifetime. I don't know. I don't really know. But that's really what has to happen. Waiting for them to classify, it's not going to happen. For instance, Trump just bought the Afrikaners over here, right? The Afrikaners. They're not African though. They call themselves Afrikaners. They're really from the Dutch, and they colonized South Africa, but they got overthrown by Nelson Mandela. He took over, but he let them keep the land, so they own like 80-90% of the land of white Afrikaners, calling themselves Afrikaners. But when things got heated in South Africa, you remember just a couple months ago, it's silent now, everybody forgot, but Trump brought them over here, gave them all the benefits from the taxpayers, from us, taxpayers. Now they got diapers, they got somewhere to live, they got a job, they got all this stuff going on, but people are so quick to forget about that. So you being in this black identity doesn't tie you to the land. It makes them over you, just like they said, they own your soul. They really believe that. They use different terminology now, but that's what it means. I own your soul. You're going to go to work or you're going to go to jail. Right now they don't have to make you go to jail because they put the bills there to make you go to work. And I just think about these things so deeply because I just read all of this. It's not going to happen because it will force them to do right by us. Exactly. The biggest thing, guys, I feel, and I'm not an expert in this because I'm still new to this information. I'm still reading. Like, for instance, I just read the Black Codes. Now I'm going to go read the Jim Crow laws again, and I want to read the Willie Lynch letter again because this is the mind of a colonizer. And if you have a chance, go read Despotism read this book. It's called Despotism in America. You can find it on the Library of Congress. It's a little long, but man, it breaks down slavery to the T. Despotism in America, 1840. This ain't our home, yo. I don't understand what your phrase mean. What you mean this ain't our home, yo? What's not our home? K White. Go read Despotism in America, 1840, in the Library of Congress. In this book, it talks about how they tricked us into thinking about slavery in a way that it wasn't, you know. Right, but did you see some of the videos where the other South Africaners call them out, saying that a lot of those South Africaners over here weren't even real farmers, and some were even struggling. Exactly, they just came for the benefit, you know, because Trump, he's exporting immigrants, minus himself, okay, and importing Africaners, but not Africaners that you think about. So if they go 20 years from now when it's showing he imported Africans, they gonna think they talking about us, but they talking about somebody who doesn't look like us. K White, I want to understand what your question is. This ain't our home, yo. What do you mean by that? This ain't our home, yo. I don't understand that phrase. Break it down for me, because what are you talking about? When you say our, are you Niiji or? I'm confused. Break it down. But yeah, he brought those Africaners over here so that they could benefit. And that's the same thing that happens when the pilgrims, the settlers came. They came over, seized the land, and they benefit from it. And we just got wiped out, guys. Every time I think about what is going on, even with the Essence Festival, I see people so mad about like the Essence Festival, saying that it's being controlled by African people now. And I don't want to step on nobody's toes, but my whole thought process is if you're identifying as African American and you're really not, because you're really Niiji and you're out of your identity, then those African people thought, hey, they African American, so we finna make it African, you know. But I think some people realize, dang, I'm really not tied to Africa. I don't have any family in Africa. Okay. Some are crying now because they're not able to get food and really not getting much help because the benefits were cut back. Now, well, that's good for them. They should have stayed where they was at. America is not what you think it is. If you're not in America, you have no idea what it is. Oh, okay, at K White, I was like, huh? I missed something. What I missed, y'all? I missed something. Let's see what I missed. Right, Essence was hijacked. Yeah, because people identifying as African American. So now they're just taking off the American part and making it African. After all the years that was Essence from when we was little. You know, Essence go way back. And people like to say we don't have a culture, but we do have culture. It's just been banned. Our culture has been banned. And I feel like, honestly, guys, some people are so brainwashed with the religion and the law that, I don't know, it's going to take us a minute to make a mass improvement. And most people will be like, well, what's next? Like, if they change the categories for classification, they still won't acknowledge who we really are. They're going to continue ignoring the history. Then what do we do next, guys? So me coming from a doctor standpoint, like I said, I'm still new to this, so I don't really know what's next. But if I could tell you guys what's next just from the things that I read and gathered, it would be that the first thing is your genealogy. It has to be number one. It has to be number one. Until you see it on paper, your ancestors and your connection to this land, it's going to be hard for you to untie the slavery myth, because you don't see no evidence. You don't see the paperwork in the Smithsonian. You don't see those census papers that's showing inhabitants, natural born to the U.S. You don't see those words in your census, so you can't unlock. So that's number one. Number two, is unity. Once you know, now it's time to try to wake your family up. Now that's gonna be one of the biggest things to do because they stuck us with religion. And they told you in this book that I recommended, that's one of the ways that they commit fraud to control the Niiji is through religion. It makes you weaker. It makes you more docile. I know the religious people don't want to hear that, but I'm just reading what they said. Christopher Columbus came, he was handing out Bibles and taking prisoners. This is what he did. This is what he said. They don't know nothing about the Bible is what he said. We can get in this Bible and take the land. That's what he did. That's exactly what they did. And ever since I read that, I was just like, this ain't my true identity. I'm out here cosplaying like I'm an African American and I'm an Indian. They laugh at us every time we Black Lives Matter. They laugh in our face. That's why you think Black Lives Matter, all this black stuff is going so far. Do you think Black History Month is really Black History Month and the government said, okay, it's cool, you black, we're gonna give you a whole month? You gotta know it ain't good. You gotta know it ain't tied to the truth. Okay, White, I'm a Cherokee Blackfoot. What I'm saying is this world ain't our home for the soul. Think about that. Exactly. That's true. It's not our home for the soul. But at the same time, they did steal our home. You know, they stole our crops, they stole our animals, they stole our land. They tried to steal the sun. If they could take the sun, they would. We the sun people. K. White said, not of this earth realm, meaning this isn't our home. Marmar. Genealogy, and we must network and build with each other. Right, unity. Yeah, that would be my second step if I could just think of some logical steps, because I don't, like I said, I don't know if this is going to happen in my lifetime. I will hope. I see changes, but I don't see enough people moving. I still see a lot of religion. I still see a lot of people just tied to that identity. It's kind of like the movie Get Out. I know y'all seen the movie Get Out. If you haven't seen the movie Get Out, you gotta see the movie Get Out. I mean, this is the most superficial but realistic way to put what's going on, because you seen at the end of the movie, once they tried to because at the beginning they kidnapped this one guy, and when you saw him again, he was on their land and he was out of mind. He was brainwashed at this point. He was mingling with the white people. He forgot who he was. He had missing posters up. He forgot who he was. The second guy, he blocked the evil from his ears. He blocked it from his eyes and his mouth. He was so smart that he tricked them. He was Niiji. Truly Niiji in the heart, like a soldier, a warrior. And what happened was, at the end of the movie, there was this maid that they had. She never talked. She was weird, completely brainwashed. She probably had been there forever, being their worker. Alright? He tried to save her, and guess what she tried to do? She tried to unalive him. She was just that gone. So even now, what that symbolizes is what is happening now. You want to try to wake everybody up and tell them this news and get them out of that mindset of feeling broken. And like Christopher Columbus said, we here to break the spirit and steal your soul. So everything that they're setting up is to break your spirit, steal the soul, to make you feel like you less than them. They feel like they're the privileged class and you the pauper class, the poor class. This is how they set this up. So everything they do is trying to get you in the mindset to break your soul, to make you feel less than, to do all these things. So at that movie, when he was trying to get her out, she couldn't think of nothing but, I can't leave this comfort zone. Because what's on the other side? So now we're in a place where, as Niiji, our voice is the minority. But guess what? Truth will always trump lies and theft and fraud. And I feel like we with a government that thrives off of fear, terror, propaganda, fraud, that can't stand up. Any foundation built on lies is kind of like a relationship. It's not going to stand the test of time, which is what's happening now. We as Niiji are going and unlocking all of the secrets. When I go to the Library of Congress, it's like all of the secrets written down on paper. Their ancestors was so dumb, man. They would write all of the evil stuff down. They would write all the things down that they did. Don't y'all read it? And now we're going to read it. So I feel like after the genealogy, that's going to unlock a big part of who you are. And then when you do the unity, connecting with people. That's another part. But the third part is to continue to do the research and to share the research, because eventually they must crumble. And I don't know if the next step is to get together with the tribe and go to the UN and, put a claim to your sovereignty. I don't know. I see people talking about people going to get their sovereignty and, all this stuff, but I don't know the process after that. I don't know. I don't know. It's a right, unity. Having a body is dependency to this place, but it's always good to know your genealogy and the origin of your spirit/soul. And black means dead in the eyes of the law. I got to read that again. Having a body is dependency to this place. That's deep. But it's always good to know your genealogy, facts, and the origin of your spirit/soul. So you're just saying the body is just the physical. We're dependent on this place just because of our body. But it's good to connect the genealogy so that we can see the origin of our spirit and soul. I love that, because that's exactly what doing a genealogy is doing for me. It's allowing me to see the origin of where I come from, the origin of my ancestors. It's so empowering. I can't even kid you. It is empowering. It's connecting me back to who I truly am. And then black means dead in the eyes of the law. That's the next thing I got to do is read the Black Law Dictionary? The Black Law Dictionaries? Because I heard that before, that it means dead in the eyes of the law. That's just like what we read here, the black codes. It does mean you're dead. And what it really, really means is that you're a worker. Not only does it mean that you're dead because you don't have control of your happiness, but it means that you're a laborer. You've been set to be just cattle. Like, you just set to go to work. So I see so many people with their spirits broken and just going to work to pay bills. That's what that means. That's why they say you're dead. Because we made you just go to work to pay these taxes so that we could take care of the Afrikaners, the Ukraine, everywhere else. We're going to take care of them forever. We ain't giving y'all nothing because y'all the pauper people. P-A-U-P-E-R means poor class in the government eyes. They better leave that sun alone because the sun doesn't even like them. Facts. The melanin, we can go all day about melanin. Yeah, they can't mess with the sun, but the melanin, it's not that the sun doesn't like them. I would venture to say that the sun loves us, or that our skin has a defense mechanism against the sun. Because that's what melanin is. It's a defense mechanism against the sun. And that's why in school, when they teach you about the body parts, they teach you that the skin is the largest organ on the body, but they fail to mention to you that melanated skin is the largest, most defensive organ of the body. They hate melanin so much because it's magical. You heard melanin magic is really a thing. They've been trying to denature melanin for the longest. If most people would have melanin, they would get it. Because why? It is a defense mechanism against UV light. Our body does the same thing that plants does with chlorophyll. When the light hits the chlorophyll, it helps the plant synthesize nutrients along with the water so that the plant can grow and turn into a tree. The same thing with us. It's essential to vitamin D synthesis. It's also essential to protecting your DNA from cancer. When I was doing studies on melanin and looking at the chart, they have the number one skin type as non-melanated skin. They had melanin, the true melanin, the U melanin as number 6. You see the propaganda in that? So they want to teach kids about the 6 type of skin because why? That skin is very, very important and potent. But most people around here want to bleach their skin. They want to bleach their defense mechanism system because somebody who don't have it told you that it's ugly, it's worthless. If you only know what this melanin do, boo. What? They still can't denature it. They still can't figure it out. They still can't figure out how to take a pill and turn into a melanated being. You can't figure it out. But it's definitely trying to be done. So, the sun, it just, we just made for the sun. So we're the sun people. And I refuse to let anybody make me hate my skin ever again. I used to get bullied. You already know this chocolate used to get bullied in elementary school. I don't know how the kids learn racism so young, but they learn to hate chocolate. I don't know if they learned it in a home, where they learned it at. But even melanated kids hate their skin because they don't know the magic. That's colonization. That's generational curses, to hate who you are. Not know who you are, but not only do you not know who you are, you hate who you are because you don't know who you are. You don't know the magic that exists with your skin. You don't know what this melanin is doing. Every time you step out in the sun, that melanin activates. It activates. It activates, guys. It takes money to change, and people who are worth their weight in salt. Definitely takes money. LOL. They hate that sun, Marmar. LOL. Most folks are dead, yo. You need to use StreamYard so people can chime in and talk. Right. We the enemy to the massa. Right. Definitely. That's why we can be vegetarian and they have a harder time with a plant-based diet, because we have a lot in common with plants. Now that is a good perspective. I didn't think about that. Because I don't eat meat. I used to eat meat, but I don't eat meat anymore. But I have been slipping because I've been eating plant-based meat, and it's just like meat with the soy. So I got to get away from that. But that is true. We are definitely very similar to the natural organic plants on this planet. Straight facts. Straight facts. Because chlorophyll is a pigment, melanin is a pigment. They both provide color. And when they get hit with the sun, they go through a biochemical process. Maybe even I could say a molecular process. If you don't have melanin, then you don't have that pigment. And when you do have melanin, that pigment rises to the top when the sun hits it. So if you go and you see people who have melanin and they've been in the sun, it gets darker because the melanin has been activated. But if you don't have melanin, your skin turns red because it's burning, because you don't have the defense mechanism, and it denatures your DNA. It's really dangerous if you don't use sunscreen, if you don't have melanin. So it was like, hey, we got to make them go to work, because if we go to work, it ain't good. Anywho. Right, that's why their hair looks just like trees and bushes in nature. Oh, that's why our hair looks just like trees and bushes in nature. We're the only people that can mimic nature. That is a very inquisitive perspective. I love that. It's both. It's learned behavior and in their nature, because they're threatened by us. Yeah. Double facts. Definitely threatened. Every day threatened. That's why the black codes that I just read, it had a section in there where it was illegal for us to gather with our tribe, or we could go to jail. Yeah, it was illegal to gather with your tribe, to gather with your people, whether it was day or night, you could go to jail and be fined. That's how threatened they are of our unity, that they had to make it illegal for people to talk and for people to gather and for people to connect to each other. It was illegal. It was illegal. It was illegal for you not to go to work. What else was illegal? It was illegal for you to drink. It was illegal. A lot of things became illegal because they were threatened. But look at the different Wall Streets. I won't say black because they were Niiji, but look at the different Wall Streets. History shows that when we had freedom to live in our communities, trade in our communities, spend money in our communities, no other community has beat that record. Even nowadays, no other community. Back in the day when they were doing the Niiji Wall Street, but Black Wall Street, y'all know what I'm trying to say. I say Niiji Wall Street, but they call it Black Wall Street. Their money circulated in the community almost 100 days. 100 days. Record still has not been broke. They got jealous, sent out some cannons, sent out some bombs, and blew it up. from jealousy, man. And now the Caucasian community money travels about 26 days in their community. Now ours is a couple hours. We don't hold on to our money but a couple hours. That's because we have less businesses, a lot of redlining, a lot of inequality, a lot going on with just, it's just crazy. With business loans, it goes deep, guys. It really goes deep. So when you think about that, when it comes to the finances, the education, we have a big task ahead of us. And I hope that in my lifetime that Niiji will be sovereign all over Turtle Island. But that's going to be a tall feat because we're going to have to fight ourselves. I'm just being honest. We're going to have to fight those people who are the maid in the movie who going to probably unalive you because they got more love for Massa. They got more love. They got more trust. They trust his word. They believe he's better. They believe his skin is better. They believe everything better. They believe everything he said. They believe it. And if you look, they still do that to us. If they see us congregating around, they feel threatened and claim we look suspicious. Facts. I come from Tallahassee, Appalachia, aka Tallahassee, Florida, aka the Appalachian Providence, Tallahassee, the Seminoles, aka the Creek Indians, all of that. You know, I come from that area. And people always talk about Florida because Florida has a heavy police presence. That's because they don't know that Florida State University, which is my alma mater, when I didn't know, the Seminoles, that was originally a military school. So Andrew Jackson came to my hometown all those years ago when they couldn't get the Seminoles under control. So he came into control. Even though the Seminoles never surrendered, they still unconquered, and it's cosplay in our faces, school, everything. Unconquered, you know. They never surrendered. But in that area, even to this day when I go home, I'm like, damn, it's a lot of police. It's a lot of police. That's the one thing that I probably wouldn't move back home because it's police everywhere. I mean, you can't ride late at night. The police gonna get behind you. They gonna stalk you. They sit on the side of the road. Especially in melanated communities, they just everywhere. When I go home, and I'm not even exaggerating, guys, I'm liable to see in 1 hour of driving, or we'll just say 20 to 30 minutes of driving, probably 25 to 30 cops. 25 to 30 cops. Here where I am now, maybe 1 or 2, 3 every now. You know what I mean? It's not that bad. But when I go home, I feel like, wow, they really don't play when it comes to the police in Florida, because they know that these unconquered Seminole, Niiji, American Indian, autochthonous people, these aboriginal inhabitants, whatever the hell you want to call it, still right here. They still right here. We got to keep them on lock. And anytime there's something going on with Florida A&M University, the Rattlers, homecoming, the police is heavy. On the other hand, when it's a PWI, a predominantly white institution, the police are not that heavy. And they're not doing all that harassing. It just is what it is. So they definitely don't allow that now. But just knowing the black codes, where that law came from, really helped me put it into perspective. Like, oh, that's where that came from. Oh, it came from the black codes, where you can't mingle or you going to jail. So a lot of that transferred to now where we not getting together for the family reunions and all these things. We not getting together because subconsciously they instill that, hey, you can't have large crowds. They gonna break up the party, and it's sad. It's sad. They want to get all in your business. You look suspicious. What? If you know how to create a trust to place your property under, it will no longer be under the jurisdiction of ownership, meaning that it can't be taken or taxed depending on how well you secure. Ooh. Now, K White, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about putting all your stuff in the trust, and I keep seeing this. So me, being who I am, if I keep seeing something, I'm going to eventually go and just research how can I do this. I have no idea how to do that, like to put all my stuff into a trust, but I've heard that. I've read about the birth certificates and how it's not living and how it has, like, they have money. I've read all of that, but to me it just sounds like, what? It's just like, huh? I don't understand. Now, is this something I need to get a lawyer for? Is this something that all Niiji should do, like put their stuff into a trust? And is this trust still under the government? Like, is it sovereign if you do it that way? I have so many questions. Yep, I've been said when it jumps off, we're going to have to fight some of our own folks along with everybody because some of our folks love them so much. Yeah, we see that when they were protesting, not one fatality, but when we were out, exactly. If it's us, it's going to be chaos because they cannot let us wake up and realize who we are. That's the biggest trick. They cannot. In my honest opinion, guys, when Trump went on TV a week or two ago and he was like, the 14th Amendment is for the babies of slaves, I thought that was disrespectful. And I thought that was him trying to line back up the people with the mindset of thinking that they were slaves. Like, this is for you slaves. Like, it was just like, I can't believe that in today's time he's still using that word, knowing that that word means prisoner of war. But he trying to tie to the people who they have tricked into believing that they was really from a boat in Africa, who not going to go do the research, who going to stay forever ignorant, and who believe that if I vote Democrat, something going to change. If I vote Republican, something going to change. If I just follow the lines of colonization, it's going to get better. I'm just going to retire and be this rich person. They believe in the Matrix. That used to be me. I used to believe in the Matrix. So for people in the Matrix, I already been where you are. I already been that big Christian. I already been in the Matrix. I already did the school. I already did all that until I realized I was lied to. So that's why they do these things, because they know that it's propaganda. They know. Yeah, okay, well, I'm going to learn about it and understand it so that I can do that too. Yeah, I mean, I got to learn about it. So I'm going to do some research on the trust and see if that's something that I want to do. You need a couple grand at least, but you have to talk to a lawyer. Probably, to be honest, I would do that, but I'm surviving right now. Money ain't easy to get. That's true. Money ain't easy to get. It's set up this way, guys. Because actually, money is easy to get, but they make it so hard for us to get it. Even on social media, I feel like social media is colonized now. They got the algorithm, so people have to work just for pennies now. That's colonization. But I guarantee you, on the Caucasian side, it's not that hard to blow your channel up. The algorithms aren't against you. You can be like Mr. Beast easily. But when our community is colonized, remember, they tried to block us from TikTok until the world was like, no, we need the American Indians. Y'all can't block them out. They blocked us for how long? A couple hours. That was another attempt to colonize us. Everybody seemed to forget so fast. They seem to forget so fast. So fast. You know? So that's why I am Dr. Chief the Sunflower in my whole new identity. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. Every day doing your genealogy is a process. It's a daily process. Learning something new and reading these different books and these difficult things that they wrote. I know it's a lot of fluff that they put in there. Like, they try to put all these big words. But once you break it down, it helps you unlock who you truly are. And every day I unlock who I truly am. I try to wake my family up. I don't think I woke any of them up yet. Out of these millions of people that I found, I don't think I woke not one up yet. That's how tough it is. Because everybody got to go to Sunday school. Everybody got to go to work. Everybody got to go to church. Everybody got to go to school. Everybody got to... all of these things that were a force. In this book that I told you about, Despotism in America, it talks about how they turned prisoners of war into slaves, right? And it said that three of their things that they used was force, fear, and fraud. And it listed religion as the fraud part of how they do slavery, because it said that they would force the slaves to go to slave Sunday school. And it said that, slave Sunday school. And then it said they would force them to go to weekly Sunday service. And then it was saying that they had to go for 2 hours and then they had to go back to work after slave Sundays. when I read these things, it's like, what? It's just crazy. I'm never. I'm just like, I'm learning so much, guys. It is, but they better enjoy their ride because their privileges are running out. Clock that T. Running out. I've been learning about the law, common law, and a lot, and it's circle jerks. The only thing that matters is the trust. What do you guys feel about the Black Law Dictionary? Because I want to read those. I don't know what I'm gonna get out of it, but I really want to read those. And also use spirituous liquid to intoxicate us. Yep, that was in the book too. My thing is the government. No, I don't even know. Do you think they're like grandkids, like the Trumps and all the? You think they know? I think they know. Unless they just didn't read that far back and we on the top, but I feel like they know. Like I feel like they know. They know everything that they're doing, and they know their time is up. We made liquor, but our liquor was different than what we had. Heavy metals and parasites, Marmar. Wow. You know, they even put toxin in the clothes now. Half of the stuff in Dollar Tree has cancer warnings on it. So everything we use now has the potential to cause some type of cancer. People don't even know that when you buying stuff, especially in like the Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, even online, you gotta look out for the P65 warning because it'll tell you, hey, this product can cause reproductive issues and cancer. Even the socks. I used to get all these little Disney socks and socks out of Dollar Tree. I can't get them no more. I read the back and I'm like, these socks cause cancer? What? Shocking. You gotta be careful. Read everything. Nah, they know they don't care. Right. Dang. They just don't care. So, since we know that they know and they just don't care, what, like, say we did the trust and we put everything in the trust and we did our tree and we got all the documents. Do you guys feel like, this is my opinion, I feel like what has to happen is like a class action lawsuit. Class action lawsuit. You know, why do I say that? Is because if most people, like if you have your tribe, say I woke up all of the Niiji in my tribe, like all 500 of us, because I got 1,000 on my tribe now, but those are mostly ancestors. But say I woke up 500 of us, I feel like the class action lawsuit would be best because it would show that they tried to commit genocide, ethnocide, democide, homicide on a tribe of people who are indigenous to America. Now, I don't know if that would have to go to the UN. I don't know about the Supreme Court, but that's where it would get a little sticky. I feel like that would be the next step. But in order to even get to that step, it has to be awakening. Otherwise, we out here alone. Like y'all see me, I'm out here alone sometimes, trying to look for my Niiji people. And I thank y'all for just chilling and talking to me today, you know, and having that Niiji mindset and not being brainwashed and understanding what's going on and even clarifying some things for me. I do. Right, that's why they got rid of Johnny Cochran, because he was gathering info to do. Oh, so I am on the right track. That's what I figured. Wow. He was gathering info to do a class action lawsuit. This shit goes beyond handling shit through the conventional means of the law. We gotta finesse and stay low key, but we must move strategically and unite. Facts. I see what you're saying, that we gotta do it beyond the conventional law, right? So we already said genealogy, waking people up in unity, but what's after that? Like, we can't stay on YouTube and TikTok forever. They getting so smart, they blocking the message. What's after that? Like, honestly, when I first found this, that I tried to go and change my ID, go to the social security office. When you walk in, these people look at you like they don't know what you talking about. Like, are you American in it? They just it's like they don't know what you're talking about. They just look at you crazy. I think that's the biggest question we have as Niiji. What is next? We must stick and move solo. What's next? That's my question, guys. What is next? And do we feel like the next is going to happen in this lifetime? That's the big question. What is next? Because if the government know what they did, boy, and I think they know, they do know, but because they know, they're going to make this the hardest fight of their life to not give up control. They're going to make this the hardest fight in their life. And we can piggyback off of what happened in South Africa with Nelson Mandela and them overthrowing the government, the Dutch people, the Afrikaners. When he did that, he overthrew them, but they didn't get the land back. That's why the Dutch people are like, I'm going to say about 10% of the population, but they own 80 something percent of the land. That's just like here. We're small minority of the population due to immigration, of them bringing millions of immigrants over here, but this is our land. They made a very sticky situation, and I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a fight. We can't keep running our mouths telling what we're doing. We have to plan and move. Yeah, they know. That's true, Marmar. But when we say running our mouths, telling what we're doing, but what are we doing? Like now, say we wanted to get together and talk. How do we take this from YouTube to reality and gather for real? Like, you trying to say get with your tribe, of course off of the internet, but get with your tribe and, I don't know, try to wake people up and move in silence. I don't know. But their kids aren't that much savvy as them. They're confused and want to be us. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That is true. They literally do. They literally do. That is so true, Marmar. uh, Facts. Now imagine that your kids trying to imitate people who you claim to be slaves. Imagine that, the irony. They find our real litness, our culture, our songs, our music, our athleticism, our they just love it. I know the grandparents gotta be pissed, cause back in the day that was illegal, but see they couldn't keep doing that. The black codes made it illegal for a white person to hang with a black person, cause they could go to jail for 6 months. They couldn't keep enforcing these things, so that now that they can't control it, this is what's gonna happen. They can't make it illegal no more. Yeah, their kids is what's going to ruin it for them and bring them down. See, they getting weaker by the generations. That is crazy. That's what I'm saying. They getting weaker by the generations. It's all love. It is all love, but yeah. That might be the downfall. The next generation may be the downfall for the government, because they don't have all those laws that they had like in the black codes anymore, where you could go to jail for hanging with us and listening to our music and all that. I doubt they're gonna go back, hey, you listen to this, you're gonna go to jail, because that's how it used to be. So they're definitely losing control. but they have a long way to go because we still paying taxes, we still going to work, we still paying for our own demise, we still out of our identity, we still don't have a way to reclassify ourselves, we don't have our own system, so we pretty much starting from the bottom, guys. And I guess the knowledge, they say knowledge is the power, so that's the only way we have power now. Is with the knowledge and with your tribe. And if your tribe like mine and they sleep, then I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I still love them, but I don't know. And that's what we have here. So I'm about to get off of here, Marmar and K White. We got some good juicy stuff out today. I'm definitely gonna look into the trust. Y'all look into the trust. Let me know. Bring me some information. My email is drshonw@gmail.com. If y'all need to reach me, that's drshawnw@gmail.com. If you find something interesting that I might need, please let me know. I'm a student at this. I'm only 1 year of being a Niiji after 3+ decades of being out of my right identity. So I have a lot of unlearning to do, and every day I go deeper into who I am, and I love it. One thing he did say is that he's going to do away with having to pay property taxes, and he wants to bring back being able to patent properties. I'm talking about with y'all. This was a great bill. Definitely, definitely. I had a great bill, great time, and I look forward to chatting with you guys in the future. All right. So I will holler at you Niijis later. Have a wonderful day or evening. And we definitely got to continue to do our research, guys. And I don't know what Trump doing. It's all fuckery to me. It's all a trick to me. I don't trust nothing they say. No. Like, my trust with the government is zero. It is zero. It's not like, well, I think they gon' no, it's zero. It is zero. I don't trust neither Democrat. It's zero. Okay? It's zero. It's all love with you guys. Peace, guys. See you later. This is Dr. Cheap the Sunflower, and I'm out.